Good afternoon and welcome to beautiful Rosendale, Wisconsin, home of the Winnebago RC Flyers Club on this mid to late, I think it's just mid-May. It is a spectacular day, 80 degrees, partly sunny sky or partly cloudy skies, and it's just beautiful. On the stand today is the second of two engines running today, both from a friend of mine, Chris. This is his Rossi 91 engine. Now this is a big boy engine. So big that if you saw the intro video I did when I got both of these, this car bolts onto the crankcase. I think that's with 2 screws. I think that's the first time I've ever seen that. But anyway, I've got a 14.6 prop on here, which is what Chris ran on this engine before he sent it to me. He ran both of the engines he sent to me first as a health check. And actually, I thought that I'd be running a smaller prop on this, but this is kind of the recommended prop for this engine, so that's what I'm going to use. And I'm also using the same plug that Chris had in here. I'm not so sure that's the best plug for what I'm running. It's an OS number 6 plug, or an A3 plug. A3 number 6. It says 6 on the side. I think those are now designated A3, which is a hotter plug. And I'm also running Cool Power 10% fuel. So the 10% nitro fuel and that plug may not necessarily be the best combination, but that's what we're going to start with and see. So let's just run this, fire this baby up. Alright, let's see how this thing takes fuel. Now, one of the things I didn't just mention, I took a picture shooting this way at the engine because the low speed setting is like an L-shaped piece of wire coming out of here, and I'll be damned if I'm going to even attempt to make any low speed mixture adjustments while this engine's running, because this muffler, this exhaust is just really in the way, and that puts me in too close to harm's way of this big ass prop. So if I decide to do any low speed tuning, I'm going to have to shut the engine off to do it. I think that's sucking fuel. It's hard to see because it's green and mean and big and bad. Okay, just for the heck of it, I'm gonna swap to a number 8 plug and see if that changes anything at all. Okay, now we got a number 8 plug on here. And we'll prime this thing up again and see if it acts or sounds or does anything different with this plug. I don't like that. This thing just doesn't want to. Okay, so there you have the run of this engine, and honestly, my impressions of this engine are I am not at all impressed with this engine at all. I mean, it runs, but man, I guess for a Rossi engine, maybe I could have just put a different prop on that. The issue with putting a different prop on this engine is I could have put a smaller prop on there, but the crankshaft is so large that I already had to ream my only 14/6 prop out pretty substantially now that it won't fit any of the engines that I've got now. And I really don't have just an ass load of different props to try that I can ream out to that size. So that's why I wanted to stick with the same engine or the same prop that Chris ran on it. And I don't recall if he told me what fuel he ran, but he said that he basically got about 10,500 on it. I don't even think I got that. And I was leaning it more and it just didn't want to give anymore. But the whole time I was running it from behind the engine here, I kind of felt like I was getting sprayed with, it felt like fuel, not exhaust. So I don't see fuel coming out of it. I didn't see fuel coming out of it, but I could feel it, something on my arm that didn't feel like oil. So I don't know. I mean, it spools up slow. It's obviously ported very differently than the Jet 91 LX I ran prior to this, which is just an all-out balls-to-the-wall engine. This is just a different porting and a different engine, and honestly, I don't care for it. I mean, it's not that interesting. I'm sure it's a quality engine, and for whatever its application is, it probably does it well, but whatever. But anyway, thank you very much, Chris, for allowing me to show these two engines of yours on my channel, and thank you all for watching.